definitely bigger than the last one.
呼ばれて水の名残が今は手代ともでみのなぜ打ち明けて爆弾せぬと膝に打たれてさめざめと涙ばくれをひかし
So then I started watching the spacewalk, and it just came across right away as something different than I'd ever seen. It looked like something was wrong with it. For instance, right here at the beginning, you'll see that this backpack, hopefully you guys can see that. Watch this black backpack right here, and you'll see that the backpack does some things that you wouldn't expect a backpack to do. It's kind of flying around, okay. But here, you'll see that, oops, let me go a little higher. You'll see here, see how it's on that pole? And in a couple of seconds here, that backpack will jump onto the person's back, right here.
Okay,
there goes the backpack.
Make it large screen? I see it. See if you can maximize it a little bit. We can see it a little better.
I think it is maximized. Yeah, it's maximized.
Oh, is it? Okay, sorry.
And I know because it's a square video, it won't go any bigger. But anyway, you see this backpack just jumps onto the person's back. Then all of a sudden, if you look over here, this region, you can see something happening to that person's back. Like it looks like something's on his back. Then it goes flying off. I'm like, what is that? Well, when I zoom in, and you'll see this in my video, and you get really close, that is a scuba diver. It is a scuba diver, and you can actually keep going through this video and see that they've done a terrible job of editing it out. Right here, you can actually see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it from where you're at, but you can see the foot kicking. It's the kicking of the diver. You can see him come down, he's kicking. And this person here on the backpack is just another diver. So I also found
it's a UFO with a cloaking device. That's what it is.
And it's so clear I also changed the colors a lot so I can see better, but see his feet kicking there? Kicking. Mm-hmm. You can see that person is kicking, and that you can actually see the tank on his back right there. It's the tank. And
yes,
so the more I kept looking into this, the more I realized that what they do is what's called live editing. So they get a video feed into their system, and somebody sits there with like a black color tool and basically is always 3 seconds ahead of time coloring out the divers. And now when Miss and I, and this has just been the last 2 days, and you can see him here, watch him grab onto this person's foot. See how the astronaut's starting to float away there? So he has to come up, he's going to grab his foot, and then he brings his foot down to the wall there. And then you'll see this is just a messy one, because then see his foot goes up again, and the guy has to reach back and grab it and pull it to the shelf. So you see here, his feet are back. Person grabs his foot, brings it right back. And that's what this whole thing is. Here he goes up to grab his foot again, up, grab the foot. So it's basically the entire spacewalks are done with divers that are carrying the people around constantly. And if you go watch the actual training footage, that's what they're doing in training. The only thing that Miss and I were at first confused about is the person seems way too small. Here they're kind of holding on to the astronaut and say that's too small of a person. But when you go look at the training, those astronaut suits are huge compared to the divers. And that's why the person appears small. But you can even see that bag, it looks like it's a black bag, kind of just doing its own thing down there. But that's actually a person, they're just live edited. And so I have the other view, which is from the other side, and you can see it equally as well there. And then we just started watching more and more footage, and it's so obvious. If you just watch I could do it all day. You just go watch more spacewalk footage and just really be alert to that. Say, you know that there's divers, and you know that the divers are going to help them with tools, equipment. They're going to help lift them. When their feet start going too high, they're going to be grabbed by the feet and brought back down. And once you know that, start watching and you'll see all the errors they make. It's really tough for them to cover it all up. Now, when you don't know that that's what's going on or you're not looking for it, it's impossible to see because things are going on. You know how the footage is always kind of herky-jerky? It's never really smooth. So at times you'll see like the video skip a little bit and you just think it's a spacewalk and that's what you get. But once you know what's going on, it's without a doubt how they're going about it. So I feel like once we know that, now we can kind of exploit that. Once you know the tools that they're using to deceive us, it makes everything a lot easier. And like I said, it's kind of obvious once you look at other footage. We were just looking at some other ones. One guy's like climbing down a pole and we're watching that. And then as soon as you notice that, you see there's a hand holding his foot. As he's going down this pole, somebody's helping him the whole way down, but all you can see is the person's hand. So anybody watching that would never assume, hey, that person's being helped by a diver, because the diver's been edited out. But once you know that that's what's happening and you start paying attention, it's everywhere, because it's impossible. They would have to edit out the foot of the astronaut to edit out the person's hand on the foot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that is absolutely stunning.
What about this one in the middle here?
This is the face of a girl, but it's a very special one. The face changes. One, the face changes.
Oh, that's really scary.
Yes, the changes in the facial features express deep emotions such as fury or jealousy. It's expressing the transformation of her emotional state.